tell me the corporate hippie thing. By the way, I love that. I love that. That is so great. And I'm sure you've looked at my profile. I got some fun stuff in there too that just kind of keeps it interesting, right? I think it's important to do that. We'll get on that topic as a recruiter, but I have never seen that before. I've never, out of all the LinkedIn profiles. I remember when I first saw that, I got up close to the screen. I'm like, oh, does that say hippie right there? I'm like, who does that? Nobody does that. Nobody is brave enough to do that. And then I scrolled down. I'm like, wait a minute. Vice president.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's brave enough to do that. That is so cool. Have you ever gotten any shit about that from any bosses or any executives over at LinkedIn, or they all just think it's cool?
No, I've only gotten positive feedback about it, which means, I know who the cool people are, the people who notice, right? It's actually funny how that happened. I came up with that on a phone screen. I'm pretty sure it was a phone screen with a candidate. And we were just kind of talking, and, she's from an area called Marin, here in the Bay Area. And it is kind of like an older hippie town, but they're all these executives or professionals who balance. And I was like, yeah, they're all a bunch of corporate hippies. And she was like, you have to coin that. And I was like, I kind of do, because I outside of my life, I would consider myself a very 21st century hippie, right?
Gotcha.
But I also really like to hustle, so it's like this balance of this corporate hippie. So that's where it came from.
I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Can you talk to me about your extracurricular activities outside of work? Probably not.
I mean,
what are your hobbies? What are your hobbies, Amanda?
Eating.
Do you go on retreats? Do you go on retreats and take mushrooms and look up at the stars and find?
That's a bucket list item. It hasn't happened yet. I haven't done shrooms since I was in high school. But I would absolutely love to do it like in a very spiritual way. I'm a very spiritual person that. Food is my hobby. I do a lot of eating. I like to eat good food, all kinds of food.
Are you a good cook?
No. No. I mean, I'm also my toughest critic. My sister says I cook just fine, but I much prefer to go to a restaurant and order something that comes to my plate. So.
Okay. So you're a foodie. You like the cool restaurants. If I come to the Bay Area, all the cool little places.
I actually hate eating in the Bay Area. I fly to LA to go eat often.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's my favorite place to eat. So, I mean, yes, I could tell you some great places to eat, but if you're going to come all the way to California, I'd be like, go to LA. That's where the food is at, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm surprised you don't live in LA. Can you live anywhere? Or do you have to? Oh,
would love to live in LA. I tell everybody in my mind, I live in LA, but I work in the Bay Area. So I'm here most of the time, and then I just gallivant to LA, but I try to go once a month.
Because that's your scene, right? I mean, that's you. Yeah, that's you. I can see you getting super bored. What if you in Ohio, please. What if you had to live in Kansas or something? You'd shoot yourself.
Yeah. And I'm really good with a gun, so.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. No, you would be like, okay, what do you guys do around here for fun? Well, we go down to the Sonic. Yeah, you'd be like, okay, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here.
I need food. I know you were itching for it. Weed does need to be legal wherever I live.
Weed has to be legal, right? It has to be.
Yeah. So sun needs to be shining 360 days a year.
I have a really good friend here that is in the mushroom business. He was in cannabis before. Great guy, and he's starting a mushroom psilocybin business with a famous football player, famous former football player. Anyway, I was over at his house recently, and he said, "Listen, man," he's like, "You got to go traveling with me." And I was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Where are we going?" He goes, "No, traveling. Psilocybin traveling."
A different dimension. Yeah.
And I'm like, what, and I'm super I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He goes, "You've never been traveling?" I'm like, "I guess not. What do you explain it to me?"